and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be doing a quick overview of the Kandao QooCam 3D camera. It's a 3D camera because it uses two different lenses at about the same distance apart as our eyes. So that's two lenses that are recording simultaneously. And then what's really crazy about this camera is it also comes with its own viewfinder, very similar to the viewfinders we used to have as kids, where you can see your footage directly off the camera in 3D. It looks a little silly to put it on, but when you're actually looking at the footage that you just shot, you know, at first when I had the opportunity to review this camera, I thought, I wonder if it's going to be a gimmick. I wonder if it's going to be silly. And what I've found, the truth is that as an outdoors person, someone that loves visiting new places and then trying to bring those places to others, trying to bring it home to my family, those experiences when we're out on the water, when we're just outdoors, we always try to find a way to make what we're filming as immersive as possible. We always go back to, oh, it looked better in person, or the camera doesn't really capture what it was like. And especially after using the viewfinder, this is the first time that I've now looked back at footage, especially of one particular spot. I wanted to take it to Ebenezer Creek. It is such a cool experience to paddle. There's one specific spot that when the water is at the right height, you're able to paddle through this forest of trees. And granted, when we went, the water was a little too high, so the buttresses were not all exposed. If it had been a couple of feet lower, the trunks that are exposed, the buttresses, are way, way bigger. But that place I thought would be a really good test of something in 3D, because every time I've gone and I've taken photos of the place and I've taken video of the place and I've done 360 video of the place, when you come home and you're watching it, it still gets flattened. And using the viewfinder on this camera was the first time that when I played back the video, it felt like I was sitting in the kayak paddling through those trees. For the very first time, footage I captured was then presented back to me how it felt when I was there. So sadly, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you won't be able to see exactly what the camera outputs. You're just going to see the two images side by side of the two cameras capturing at the same time. You would need some kind of headset that's able to display to each one of your eyes one of those two images so that we are able to superimpose them ourselves, and that's what really gives us that 3D feeling. And that's also what's super cool about this little camera, that it comes with its own viewfinder. If you're sharing it with your friends or your family, you're going to have to pass it around so that everybody can take a look. But it's really cool to see some of those experiences a little closer to as if you were there. So let's quickly go through the camera. It's a regular camera in the sense that it has a rechargeable battery. You can put a micro SD card in it. It has normal functions. You can take photos, you can take videos. It's small, it's light, it has a normal camera mount, so you can mount it anywhere. But really what sets it apart is the fact that it's a stereo image. So that's where, like with 360 in the beginning, it gets a little tricky, because when I was first making 360 videos, YouTube started having the capability that if you took your mobile device where you were watching and you moved it around, you'd be able to then see the 360 footage. And the same went with VR headsets. If you had one on and you moved your head around, it would show you in whatever direction you happen to be looking at within that 360 video. And that to me is what blew me away about this particular camera. With their little viewfinder, you're able to see exactly what it looked like. You're able to tell distance. As I paddled in this example, as I paddled through the forest, you can see how far apart these trees are from each other, and you can see where they are in relation to my kayak. That's what usually is missing when we have a flat 2D image that we're looking at. It might look beautiful. And a lot of times we use, for example, depth of field where we're able to get things that are blurry in the distance, and then that gives us the feeling of, okay, that's further away, this is closer, we're focusing on something that's close. But really the experience of looking at something and feeling like if I reached out with my hand, I could touch it, or if I reached out with my paddle, I'd be able to hit the tree that's right over there. That's what set this apart for me. I do think that as VR headsets and other headsets that allow immersive video viewing become more available and are easier to get and become more mainstream, I do see a camera like this being really popular, especially for those of us that really love capturing footage of the outdoors. You always want to try to bring that home, and a lot of times it just doesn't translate. It looks beautiful, but it isn't as immersive as sometimes we wish it would be. Don't get me wrong, I'm not limiting this camera to the outdoors. You can use it anytime. It just happens to be where I usually do all of my shooting. So I want to thank Kandao for giving me the opportunity to test out this 3D camera. While the viewfinder makes the camera a little bulky, you don't need to take it with you. It attaches with a magnet and a clip. So what I really think would happen is this could easily be stowed away in a pocket or anywhere within your kayak. And any cool place you get to, bring it out, shoot some cool footage, and then once you get home, use the viewfinder to watch it. Or if someone has a headset that allows to see it in 3D, then that's another option. I'll post more info below so you can find out more of the details if you want to dive deeper. If you've had any experiences with 3D cameras, please post about it below in a comment. I'd love to hear about it. Or if there's any questions, go ahead and post those as well. Subscribe if you'd like. I'm always trying to put these videos out. As always, with Kayak Hipster, thank you for watching. See you next time.